my name is Morgan. I'm the studio manager at Orange Theory Fitness in Fairfield, Texas. Today I'm going to be talking to you guys about converting emotion into membership. By the end of this video, I would like for you guys to have grasped what is converting emotion into membership, why is it important, and how do you notice when it can be improved upon. The first topic that we're going to be starting with today is what is converting emotion into membership. Converting emotion into membership is pouring your effort and focus into creating genuine rapport and building a trusted relationship. Let me say that again one more time. Converting emotion into membership is pouring your effort and focus into creating a genuine rapport and building a trusted relationship. It's really important to take each of those steps apart because each and every portion of it is radically important to be able for you to understand what this is. What do we mean by pouring effort and focus? What does that look like practically? Well, let's take it apart a little bit. Pouring effort and focus means to intentionally and appropriately direct all of your energy into a person and a task at hand. Intentional means for a purpose. You have a picture in your mind of what you want each guest to experience when they come in. You have an ideal image, and it's important that you're able to convey that to them in every intention that you do. Appropriately means with the right intensity. You don't want to be too excited as to either frighten or push away, and you definitely don't want to be too meek as to appear unconfident or disinterested. It's really important to adjust based on the person, and we'll talk about energy matching a little bit later. Take a look at this practical example of what that may look like when you're greeting a guest and pouring effort and focus intentionally and appropriately. Hey, welcome in. You must be Jonathan. We've been expecting you. How are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm a little nervous.
No, I totally understand. Don't even be worried at all. You are in such good hands. We're going to make sure that you have the best experience possible today. You all ready?
Yeah,
Let's
sure.
go. Okay, so if I could have you just start filling this out for me. Okay. As soon as we're done with this, we're gonna get you set with everything else, okay?
Sounds good.
Awesome, thank you. Notice a couple of things about our sales associate in this scenario. One, she was prepared for him. She was fully interested, fully invested, and she already knew his name. She related to him confidently, and throughout the entire greeting portion, she also allayed some of his fears. Something else I want you guys to notice is that she wasn't distracted, she wasn't flippant, she was very intentional with everything that she said and did and actively listened. I would like you to pause and remember a time where you felt that you were noticed by somebody who you thought hadn't noticed you. The emotions that you felt during that time is something that I want you to know and express to every guest who walks through the door. Starting upon the very first interaction and then throughout the time of their life in the studio, you want them to feel confident, at ease, cared for, and that they're in good hands the entire time. Let's take apart the next step in converting emotion into membership, and that is creating genuine rapport. Creating genuine rapport is establishing a fluid communication between you and the guest that expresses that you understand their feelings, expectations, and their needs. Rapport is the surface level portion of it, and trust is a little bit deeper, which is why trust is the last thing that we'll talk about. It's very important that you understand rapport is something that you start and build. A good example of the difference between rapport and trust would be if you drop your wallet. If somebody picks it up and hands it back to you, it's the kind and decent thing to do. At that point though, they have established somewhat of a rapport with you. You trust them, they seem trustworthy and kind. However, asking them to watch your kids for a couple of nights is radically different. Trust and rapport are very different, and rapport must be built first before you can get to trust. In creating rapport, you are answering the question for them, why should you invest in what we have? Why should you believe that we have a solution to what you need? The reason is because you are knowledgeable, you are clear, you're confident, you engage with intent questions, and you are there for them the entire time in a caring, trustworthy manner. Make sure you don't stop there though. We'll talk about active listening and intentional speaking a little bit later. The final part in converting emotion into membership is building a trusted relationship. Building a trusted relationship is the intent to connect your guest upon the very first start, to get them to invest in the process, to meet their goals and their needs. Trust is something that is built over time, as we established earlier. So it's really important that they become a member with us so that way they can build that. It starts upon the very first meeting with them, and we want them to get to the point where they would be comfortable knowing that we are trustworthy in holding their goals and getting them to where they want to be. A true connection is expressed through engagement, body language, tone, responses, questions, your presence, being wholly present, not distracted, and a true interest in both them and their goals. I want you to remember this whenever somebody walks in. If your goal is for them to get to their goal, you have set yourself up for the most positive and fruitful interaction that you can have to get to both their success and yours. Let's take a quick look at what an example of using those things might look like. All right, Jonathan, if you could just grab a seat for me.
Oh, sure.
Okay, so my name again is Morgan. I am super excited to get you started with everything today.
Oh, yeah,
If you have
sure.
any questions at all, please stop me. I'm happy to help, okay?
Yep.
So I noticed here that it actually says that you have an ankle injury. So and it says it was about a year ago. Does that still bother you? Can you tell me a little bit about that?
I mean, it bothers me a little bit every now and then, but obviously, since it being a year ago, it hasn't been too bad.
Okay, that's good. That's really good. So any limitations, anything that you might experience during this class, the coach will absolutely get you set up with everything. They'll explain you any modifications that they could give you to make sure that you are challenged at the appropriate level, okay?
Okay.
So if you could, can you share with me some specific goals that brought you in today? What brought you in?
Well, ever since the ankle injury, I've kind of not really been able to exercise as much.
Okay.
And so, I've kind of gotten a little out of shape, so just trying to get back into it.
Okay, totally. What does in shape look like to you? Is that stronger, faster? Is it a tone? Like, what does that look like?
I don't know, just building up a little bit more of that stamina, being able to get back to, I used to play sports, play basketball. Now I just kind of play pickup and stuff like that, and so just kind of trying to be in shape so I can keep doing some of that stuff.
No, and honestly, it's a really solid goal, because that's not just one that's aesthetic. That's something that's going to get you to a longevity goal, making sure that you stay on track the entire time, right? Because you can only grow and get better with that.
Yeah.
You're going to love it here. I started actually after a knee surgery at Orange Theory, and they worked with me so well throughout the entire time, and now I'm able to run. I was only able to power walk beforehand.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, which is really, really cool. So specifically, why is that so important to you? Like, why are you trying to get back to that?
Well, I love being active, and being able to go out and do, do the things that I used to. I know I might not be able to 100% get back to what it was, but, I enjoy playing basketball and, being able to stay in shape.
Absolutely. Those are incredibly important. You can absolutely hit that here. And honestly, probably about a month or two, you could start seeing incredible results with it as long as you stay really consistent. Okay? Notice that our sales associate is engaged the entire time. Moving forward with body language is turned in towards our intro. They're also making sure to give active responses, which we'll again talk about a little bit later. When they're providing our guests with options, they're connecting the goals to said option, rather than just trying to sell a membership. Does our relationship with our guest end after the first visit? I really hope it doesn't. You must become a trusted advisor in the eyes of your guests in order for them to want to invest in the process that they'll be starting with you as a member. If they're going to be investing their time, effort, and finance into this process that you have been talking to them about, you cannot leave them hanging and expect them to give without you giving and meeting them as well. Now that we understand what converting emotion into membership is, why is it important? People are driven by emotion and by logic and facts, but primarily they're driven by emotion upon the first visit. First impression is everything. I know you've heard that before. Dale Carnegie has something to say about this as well. There are 4 different levels of salespersons according to Dale Carnegie, and we're going to take a step process through that. The first level is product pusher. The best example I can think of is a mall kiosk representative. This is someone who throws the product in your face, might not even know about the product. They can almost come across as annoying. It gets frustrating and you really don't want to interact with them. The second level is the price talker. The best example that I can think of is a car salesman. They are someone who really only cares about providing you with the price. They understand their product that they're selling, but their goal is really just to get the sale. The next level is an order taker. The best example I can give you is a waiter or somebody who works in a necessities department store. They're not trying to push or sell anything to you because they know that you already need it. You'll come to them, so why do they need to sell it? The fourth and final level is where we want to be at. It's the trusted advisor and strategic partner. They're an expert in what they're selling. They understand it and want to convey it to you well. They're good listeners. They speak intentionally. They become somebody who you want to trust, even if they're not giving exactly what you want or expect. You must become a trusted advisor in order for someone to become a member with us. There's a 30 and 70% difference, which is why we try to close at 70%. 30% is going to make the decision either yes or no, regardless of what you do or say during their interaction. The 70% though is in your court to make a difference. You have the opportunity to either convince them yes, or you're not for them. The reason it's important to convert emotion with membership is because their longevity of stay depends on it. When they stay as a member for a much longer time, invested in the process of getting to their goals, they will have an opportunity to hit their goals and experience life change. In their longevity of stay, they will also be inclined to give you referrals. They'll want to bring people in because they're experiencing life change, and they'll most likely bring them to you because you're the trusted advisor who has brought them to this point. The third and final reason is they'll be a true believer in what you provide because they will have experienced it themselves. Now that we understand what it is and why it's important, let's talk about how we actually put converting emotion into membership into practice. The first thing I want to say is that this is not a checklist. So make sure that you are not using this as a check the box. These are mindsets and habits that you can experience and put into practice that will associate and help you during company time and off company time in growing personality traits as well. Our first point is move from transactional to transformational. Alan Blunt, who is a regional fitness trainer in Orange Theory Fitness, gave an incredible talk one time and moved from the mindset of transactional to transformational. Transactional is immediate, it's temporal, and it doesn't base on relation. Transformational is over an extended amount of time. It's long lasting and it's relational based, both for them and for you. Our next point is energy matching. It's very important that you not only match their energy, but become relatable. We saw a really good example of that in the beginning, but now let's look at one that might be a practical way that needs improvement. Hi, welcome in.
Hey.
How are you today?
Doing pretty good.
Good. How can I help you?
I'm here for an intro.
Oh, okay, cool. Love that. So if you could just go ahead and start filling this out for me, we'll get everything going for you, okay?
Okay.
Great.
Yeah,
just fill this out. Yep.
Okay.
How have you been today?
Oh, pretty good.
Good, cool. How you feeling?
A little nervous. I don't know how to.
Yeah, no worries.
I haven't done this in a while, so.
Yeah, no worries. I was too. You're fine. When a guest walks in and they're excited, match their excitement. It's so important to be able to encourage them with both your body language, tone, and anything else that you have at your disposal to make sure that they're enjoying their time and that they do feel confident that they're going to experience an awesome time. When they're low, timid, afraid, and you receive those vibes as they walk in, you need to make sure that you're relatable. But don't meet them there. You need to be relatable to bring them to your level. It's very important at that point, though, that you're not overexcited to try to bring them up and that you're not just meeting them there flippantly. Our next point is be prepared. Make sure that you're looking at the contact logs. Speak to the person who talked to them on the phone if you haven't talked to them. Make sure that you're getting the whole situation and scenario and any pieces of information you can glean before they walk through those doors. Our next point is the difference between listening and active listening. There are 3 different levels of listening that you commonly hear all the time. We will take a look at each example. Listening to hear, listening to show and know, listening to understand. Let's take an example of listening to hear. Okay, follow me over this way. Grab a seat.
Sure.
Okay. Cool. So have you ever been to an OTF before?
No. I've seen your commercials and stuff, but.
Okay, cool. How'd you hear about us?
From the commercials on TV, I have some friends that, come here.
Yeah, cool. Oh, that's cool. So what are some specific goals that you have coming today?
Well, a while back, I had an ankle injury and, just trying to find a way to get it more up into speed, try to get back into shape. I haven't really been the same since. So.
Yeah, like getting in shape, cool. Okay. So what have you been doing for the past 30 to 60 days to get there?
Well, I haven't really been doing a lot. I mean, I try to go for a run every now and then, but obviously I can't do that too much.
Okay. Wait, why? Oh, your ankle, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got you. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So, what do you feel like is missing from your routine right now?
I mean, I don't know. I guess just kind of like a schedule, a steady, constant.
Okay.
Kind of
Okay.
figured, doing the whole class thing probably give me some motivation to actually do, exercises and things like that.
Yeah, for sure. Orange Theory is pretty cool. You're gonna like it. Okay, so how long have you been thinking about achieving your goals?
For a little bit. I don't want to put on too many pounds.
Yeah, yeah, true. Same here. Okay, so like on a scale from like 1 to 10, like what would your passion be?
I don't know. I haven't really thought about it. Passions?
Yeah, like passion for hitting your goal. Like on a scale from like 1 to 10.
Maybe like 6 or.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Right, better than 5. I mean,
yeah,
that's good. Okay, what obstacles have you had in reaching your goals?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, obviously, like I said, my ankle injury.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I feel that.
I mean, I don't know. What do you guys?
Hey, Brenda. Yeah, I know. Hey.
What do you guys usually offer?
Oh, I mean, we'll get to that in a second, but like how much? Okay, cool. So Sierra said that you did great in the class, so good job. I love that. Really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I wanted to show you the Premier membership again. That's what she was talking about. So do you want to get signed up for the Premier today?
I don't know. It just seems. I like the class a lot. I just don't know if I would want to pay, that much.
Oh, okay. Like why don't you want to pay that much?
I mean, I don't know. I guess because I've never really done gym like this before, but it just seems like a lot per month.
Okay, yeah, no. I mean, I totally understand. I do. Like, I mean, it's just like, can I call you tomorrow?
I mean, sure. Maybe.
Okay, cool. Okay, here's my card. As you saw from that example, listening to hear is in one ear and out the other. It's something that you normally pick up the phone with a parent and go, uh-huh, uh-huh, uh-huh. You're not really there. You're listening just to kind of be present in the situation, and it shows. With the guests in the studio, this may look like distracted or flippant responses, the cliche ones that you normally think of, like great, or awesome, or I agree. Do you really? Our next example is listening to show and know. Let's take a quick look at what this example may look like practically in the studio. Cool, grab a seat for me if you could.
Okay.
Okay, cool. So, really excited for everything to get started. So, how have you been to an Orange Theory Fitness before in your past?
I mean, no, not really.
Not really? No. Okay, not really. Like, what do you mean by that?
Like, I've never been to Orange Theory.
Oh, okay, got you. So, what are your specific goals?
Well, I don't know, just to kind of get back in shape. A while back I had an ankle injury.
Get back in shape.
I haven't really been able to do a lot of exercising in a while. But,
Dang.
just thinking of getting back into motions,
Okay, I got you. No, totally. So, like, just getting back in shape. So, you mentioned your ankle injury. Like, does that still hurt you right now?
I mean, sometimes it bothers me a little bit, but,
Okay.
it's gotten better.
Okay, but just getting back in shape then, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what have you been doing right now for the past 30 to 60 days to get back in shape?
Well, every now and then, I try to go for a run, but I mean, it's not super consistent.
Okay.
So,
Okay, not super consistent though?
No, I would say maybe just a couple of times. Obviously I can't do it too much. But,
yeah, because of your ankle. I get it. No worries. Okay, so what is the most you'd be willing to pay per session?
Pay, I don't know, maybe something like per session. Maybe like, I don't know, maybe like 30, 40.
Oh, yeah, totally. Yeah, no, I feel that. Same here. I totally agree. Okay, so when do you feel like you were in the best shape of your life? You did awesome. Good job. How do you feel?
Just a little, a little tired, but
yeah, I feel that.
My ankle didn't really bother me that too much. So
Good.
That's good. So.
Good. Well, Coach Sierra said you did great, so I'm super excited about that. She recommended the Premier membership like we talked about in the beginning, so I would love to get you started on that one. So you want to get started today?
I mean, I might need a little bit of time to think about it.
Okay. Do you mind what you're thinking about? Do you mind if I ask what you're thinking about?
Oh, I mean, I don't know. Just wondering if I have, the time to do it, or I don't know if
totally.
it'd be too much.
Oh, totally. Yeah. I know that you said you wanted to do like a couple of times a week. So, I mean, like we can try to figure out some times and stuff. Like we have a whole bunch of options. Do you think that any of like the other times that we talked about would work, or?
I mean,
we can always start. There's another option too. We can always start at the basic if you want to, and that one's just one time a week. Do you think you would have time to do like one time a week? Listening to show and know is exactly that. It's listening to show that you're listening without really actually knowing what you're listening to. It's usually just asking the questions and not going deeper than that. You're never going to reapply the knowledge that you have, and you have no intention upon actually remembering what you've heard. An example that you may think of is parroting. It's when you're talking to your significant other and they've said, "Yes, I heard you," when they're doing something or are distracted, and when you return, they haven't finished what you asked them to complete. The final level, and the one that you need to understand and get to in converting emotion into membership, is listening to understand. Let's take a look at what that may look like in the studio with our guest. Do you feel like mornings, afternoons, or evenings are better for you? This is actually our schedule if you want to take a quick peek at it.
Oh, okay. Probably in the evenings.
Okay, sounds good. So we have the 5:30 and then 6:45 and then the 8 o'clock.
Okay.
Do you know which one would probably be best for you?
Honestly, the 5:30 might work, because I can just come right after work.
Okay, that's great. I love that. But do you think, so with the 3 times a week, do you think that you could fit it in on a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or would you like to do a weekend day instead? What would be best, time-wise?
I mean, I guess starting out, we could do Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
I think that's a great idea, especially because you already have a routine of work. Adding something into already set routine is really easy. If you don't do anything on the weekends, it's kind of hard to add something into it to then establish.
For sure.
Okay, cool. So let's get those set.
Okay.
Great. Jonathan, you killed it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, 29 splat points. That is amazing. Dude, that was great. What was your favorite part?
Oh man, probably just I felt pretty good to be able to on the all out whenever, just give it a push.
Yeah, right? Well, you made it. You made it through the entire thing. I know you were a little nervous in the beginning, but you got it good.
Oh yeah, it felt good, yeah.
I'm so excited to get you started. I can't wait. So I'll walk you through the process of everything that we're going to do. Coach Sierra was recommending the membership, which is what we talked about in the beginning as well, so that way you can get everything set and started, and we can even get you booked out for a couple sessions today. Okay? When can I get you booked for your next class?
I don't know. I'm still kind of thinking about it a little bit.
No, I completely understand. If you don't mind me asking, what are you thinking about?
I mean, just like I said, it's finding the time, and then I don't know. Your price points seem pretty good per session, so I guess just figuring out schedule-wise if it'll work out.
I really respect that, especially when you're so busy already. It's kind of hard to add something in on top of all of that. I know that we talked about some specific times at the 5:30s for Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, though, that would fit in, especially with an already set routine. Do you think that those will still work, or did anything change?
I don't know. I think they might still work.
And Jonathan, I know that you said that you were really excited about getting towards your goals, and that sometimes motivation can kind of be hard. It's hardest sometimes to just get started with it, but I really recommend it. Our memberships are month to month. You can literally cancel it with us at any time, but don't sell yourself short from getting towards those goals. I really recommend to get towards that stamina. Let's start it today, so that way you can start making a habit and getting into that. And then for 2 months, we just try it out and we see where we can get you. Can you do that?
Sure. Yeah, I guess we try it out.
Let's do it, okay? So let's get you started here, and I'll get you booked out for a couple classes too, okay?
Cool.
Go ahead and start filling that out for me.
Yeah.
This level of listening is deeper. It's comprehension. It's making sure that they understand that you've not only heard them, but you will then apply that knowledge into your expertise to get them to the solution that they need to. A good example of how to use this with your guests is asking intent questions, getting deeper, re-clarifying, making sure that you rephrase a question to show that you're not only understanding, but to ask for clarification. A really good example of how to use this and when to use this is when your guest has an objection when they don't want to get set up for a membership. Instead of monologuing, have an intentional conversation with them. Make sure that you're applying the knowledge that you've already grasped and understood from the very beginning. The last point that I'd like to give you is speaking versus intentional speaking. This is using words with meaning. It's important that you invest with your words. Make sure that they have a purpose and a motivation. You convey your intentions with everything that you say. You also convey your intentions with everything that your body language says. The same question can be asked two different ways. They can have different purposes and different intents behind them. Let's take a quick look. The question can be asked, do you have goals? Or it can be asked, what are your goals? One is unintentional and one is much more intentional. What are your goals? Let's get to those. The next question, why do you have those goals versus why is that goal important to you? A little rephrasing can do a lot when it comes to intentionally speaking. During an objection, it can be, why don't you want to sign up today? Versus, what is holding you back from getting started on your fitness goals? One is very impersonal and transactional. One is transformational and focused on their goals. I can't do that versus, this is what I can do for you. You're saying the same thing, but you're phrasing it very differently. How do you feel after a workout versus, what was your favorite part? The quickest way to get somebody down is to ask them, how do you feel? Now they're evaluating even the negative emotions. Even words and actions not directed at them, or even when they're present in the room, can reveal your intentions. This can be gossip, whenever they're not there and you're talking about them in the lobby, or while you're talking about them with your coworkers, what you feel like they're going to do. Hold off on those until you are done with your guest. This can also be judgment to their face or behind their back based on what you've said or how your body language is interpreted. Or it can be apathetic in your responses, distracted, uninvested. Because this is not a checklist, the easiest thing to do is just remember, be kind, be loving, be honest, and be authentic with everything you do and say. Whenever you have that intention with your guests, you are always going to be set up for success. Thank you so much for watching. And if you have any questions about converting emotion into membership, make sure that you speak with your studio manager or your regional manager. Always remember to practice makes perfect. You need to make sure that you put these practices into practice in order to get where you need to be. Thank you again so much for watching. Have a good day.